Kaolin Cup, best of 8. Kaolin Cup, round of 8. A best of 3 game between Never Say No to Panda and Aggressive 5. We are a little bit behind schedule, but glad to be finally starting the game. The first 2 bans, a Bat Rider from Aggressive 5 and a Slaughter from Never Say No to Panda. Never Say No to Panda then probably ban out the Lone Druid, clearly not wanting to have to deal with Syllabear and his furry bear friend. In the lobby the teams were full of banter, constantly back and forth about games they've played against each other before, previous tournaments where teams may have won, and Aggressive 5 go out and ban the OD, a hero that has been the plague of ranked games and to a lesser extent professional Dota for the entirety of 6.86. Never Say No to Panda then begin with a first pick Silencer. That's an unconventional opening to say the least. Silencer normally a hero that gets picked up later in the draft as a surprise pick or maybe as a counter pick to spell heavy heroes. But Never Say No to Panda, they value it highly. They want to get their Silencer. And Aggressive 5 responded with Faceless Void and a Gyrocopter. Both heroes that have the capacity to get in on the Silencer, initiate on him and blow him up before Global Silence can really get into effect. Faceless Void, not as good at doing that as he once was, now being far less of a chrono heavy burst down one hero and then run away to more
10 seconds to go.
of a sustained teamfight monster that just tanks everything and hits you more times than you can count. It'll be interesting to see how Faceless Void will shape up against Silencer with the reworkings to both Faces, to the entirety of Faceless Void almost, and to Silencer's Q, the Arcane Curse. And Never Say No to Panda decided to pick up an Ogre Magi. That'll likely be a very successful early roaming hero, although with long ago nerfs to Fire Blast, it is less of a monster and more of just a tanky support that just stays in lane, is constantly annoying. Never Say No to Panda not wanting to deal with the Viper as well, clearly afraid of getting a strong mid lane matchup for whatever their mid lane hero may be. It might be the Silencer, it might be a hero still coming in the draft.
10 seconds to go.
That will remain to be seen. Aggressive 5, they don't want to see the Spectre. They don't think they'll have an answer for arguably one of the heaviest late game carries in the entirety of the game. Never Say No to Panda using a little bit of time to get their last ban out here.
10 seconds to go.
Will they continue their trend of banning out strong mid lane heroes, or will they maybe
5 seconds.
use the previous knowledge that they have gained playing against Aggressive 5 and ban out
Reserve time.
covered heroes of the team that they know about? There was mention of a strong Zeus player being on the Aggressive 5 team, so maybe they'll ban out the Zeus at this point in time. Aggressive 5 unlikely to run Faceless Void or Gyrocopter in the mid lane. Zeus would still be a pretty strong opponent for Silencer in the mid lane, even with the reworkings to Arcane Curse. Now dealing damage the more you cast spells rather than until you cast a spell. And Never Say No to Panda is really digging deep for this ban, and they ban the Templar Assassin. Again, banning a strong physical damage mid lane hero. And Aggressive 5 banning out the more meta-sensitive Invoker, a hero that has more than 56% pick rate in 5k pubs, has a significant presence in competitive Dota, and is generally just a strong hero in 6.86. Many suspect that the nerf hammer will come down hard on poor old Carl's head and he'll sink into irrelevancy once more. But for this game, we won't see an Invoker.
10 seconds to go.
Aggressive 5 taking their time for their next pick. Maybe picking up
5
one of their
seconds.
support duos, since they've picked up what are likely their offlane and safe lane cores
Reserve
in the
time.
Faceless Void and the Gyrocopter respectively. supports that complement them well. Vengeful Spirit.
Dyer's pick.
What might be interesting is if they choose to run this as a support or a core Vengeful Spirit. Core Vengeful Spirit has been seeing significantly more play. It started with teams like Virtus Pro, but now a number of teams use it as a surprise pick due to the early boost in damage from her Vengeance Aura, the power of the Magic Missile Stun, and the utility of Swap. But with an aggressive Eyes lineup, this is more likely a support. Gyrocopter is most likely the safe lane farmer, and Faces Void most likely the offlane farmer. There's little space for a Vengeful Spirit in amongst the
10
last.
seconds to go.
Vengeful Spirit, a very solid pick all around. Just a very versatile hero, can play in a number of roles, can fulfill a number of tasks in both teamfight and ganking and defense, pushing, whatever you need. Venge has a little bit to offer in every situation. Aggressive 5 might look to round out their support duo with this last pick of this round of the draft. Heroes that could be a prominent feature, maybe a Witch Doctor, support that has seen a lot of play in the current 6.86 meta, or even an Oracle to keep whatever hero that Clinks is bursting down alive for a couple of extra seconds to allow the Faces Void and the Gyrocopter to dish out their damage more effectively. They could pick another aggressive support, something like an Earthshaker for a more stat heavy kit. They could even pick up a Bounty Hunter for detection for the Clinks, and that is what they choose to do. They're worried about the Clinks' capacity to roam on whatever mid lane they have and their cores throughout the duration of the game. And a Bounty Hunter is a solid pick against any hero with a reliance on invisibility, Clinks being amongst them. Never say no to Pandas. Depending on the role of the Silencer, could have picked up both of their supports, or their mid lane and one support, and they'll be looking to most likely fill in either whatever role they haven't filled, either their mid laner or their second support. Both teams playing their last core role fairly close to the chest. Never say no to Panda, still looking for their safe lane farmer, Clinks, normally farming the offlane, and this is most likely still a fairly open draft actually. Lina or Silencer could be mid or support. More likely a mid laner. The early levels allow her to burst down enemies far more effectively. Silencer not benefiting too much once he hits he's level 6, unless he gets a very hot start. He's very prone to fading into irrelevancy if he gets killed even once or twice. Lina, a far more reliable hero in the mid lane, will always get value out of her experience. And aggressive 5 banning out the pesky Enchantress. They don't want to have to deal with Bambi and her sprites, her untouchableness, or her ridiculous impetus damage. Never say no to Pandas. Have a little bit more time to think about this last ban. They could do even more to secure the Silencer or the Lina's mid lane. They're already banning out 3 powerful heroes in it. They could ban out Aggressive 5's Comfort Zeus. They could ban out other mid heroes. Weehaw has played a mid Earth Spirit, and you do see different mids occasionally, and they are afraid of a Tinker. That's a hero that I haven't seen in a pub or a professional game in many month. But never say no to Pandas. They don't want to have to deal with it. They don't have many answers to it, and Aggressive 5 respond with the powerful Queen of Pain pick. A hero that matches up fairly well in the mid lane with Lina. Their attack animations advantage the Queen of Pain until the Lina gets high levels in her passive, and the safe lane farm will be the Wraith King, a hero that doesn't care about getting blown up because he's coming back. King Astarion, going to be showing how powerful he can be. Alright, after technical issues and a quick AP remake, we are almost a for away in the Kaolin Cup round of 8 between Aggressive 5 and Never Say No to Pandas. On the side of the raid we have Pusher on the offlane faces Void, Clown on the net on the Queen of Pain, PS on the support Vengeful Spirit, Weapon X on the very cool looking Gyrocopter with his funny glasses, and Passat on the Bounty Hunter. For Team Never Say No to Pandas, we have Clinks Spammer on Shock Clinks, already successfully dewarding Passat's ward. Oh, they both get the wards just before the sentry goes down. Well played on both teams. We have Zeus on the Lena. We have Lips of an Angel on the man with his finger to his lips, Silencer. Fake Promise on Yoga Magi, and rounding it off we have Say My Name on the Wraith King. Nice cool looking cosmetic. The teams seem to be duking it out for the runes, but not too intensely. Pusher is here poking his head up, but he's not going to go too far once he sees exactly what's on the side of Never Say No to Pandas. And the rune war is won by Never Say No to Pandas as Clinks sneaks his way right down to the bottom rune, giving Never Say No to Pandas both runes. The first point of contest will probably be this mid lane between Zeus and Clown, with Passat showing his face, saying, look, this is not just your lane to dominate, and I'm going to be here to harass your pretty little Lena buttocks. But Lena, she's afraid of that and lays down sentry ward. So Passat, successful, as he did in the bottom lane, successfully dewarding the sentry ward going against him, and this will allow him to be annoying once more. That does mean that the Dire team are out of sentries for the current point in time, and will have to restock in order to get more. But it looks like there might be a little bit of harass going on. Netsurf right clicking and stunning Clink Spammer down just to try get him to zone him out of it, but Clink Spammer, he's still got a little bit of regen left. Netsurf, he doesn't have enough mana for the stun quite yet, but the Clink Spammer is still wary. In the top lane, Pusher and Netsurf duking it out. But there's a big battle in the mid lane. Zeus does go down, with Clown on about a quarter HP after it's all said and done. But the first blood does go the way of Clown on his Queen of Pain. Lena even buying Observer Watch to make sure it doesn't happen again. In the bot lane, Netsurf once again harassing the Clink Spammer, throwing out the stun, but this probably won't lead to anything more. Just making sure that the Clink Spammer is aware that he is not in his comfort zone in this lane. Bounty Hunter stealing the rune from the Clinks and rotating bottom just for extra security. With the Radiant Ward, they could even go on the Clink Spammer here. Clink Spammer, just out of range of the ward. One right click from Bounty might slow him down enough, and it looks like Netsurf just setting up for the stun by mana potting up, and we have a quick pause as Clown needs to gather himself. Overall, the early game going quite well for the aggressive 5 team, despite both bounty runes going the way of Never Say No to Pandas. They're winning the CS war with their 3 cores, being on top of the cores of Never Say No to Pandas by a significant margin, and obviously the first blood helping out the Queen of Pain significantly. Fake Promise has rotated into the mid lane. Now with both of his spells available, he could look to more aggressively position against Queen of Pain, but Clown, he's sitting very defensively. He's sitting under his tower, making sure he doesn't give Fake Promise the chance to even cast any of his spells. Faces Void has found Lips of an Angel and used his Time Walk to get even closer to him. The Orb of Venom, what looked like an Orb of Venom effect, was slowing the Silencer down, but no longer, and Pusher might be in trouble here. Clown does use this opportunity to go on Zeus to try force Fake Promise back into the mid lane, and it does work, and overall the aggression disengages. In bot lane, Gyrocopter's farming very well for 3 minutes into the game. 18 CS, almost perfect CS at this point, and far outstripping the safe lane of the Wraith King. Almost double his CS at this point in the game. Say My Name is running forward a little bit, trying to make sure Pusher is kept honest, but with 2 levels in the Time Walk, he's going to be able to Time Walk away any damage that Say My Name is able to do to him, and in the meantime giving him annoying bashes through Time Lock. Passat looking to disrupt Lips of an Angel's pull here, and maybe even snipe the courier. He might be lucky enough to spot it if the Lips of an Angel walks too far down. They do cast the spell on, oh, but the stun goes on the creep. Pusher a little too far back for Say My Name to get him. And now Passat goes in, oh, and Queen of Pain has killed the Lina once more. The haste rune giving her the ability to run down the Lina even behind her own tower. And that's 2 kills to the Queen of Pain. And this mid lane is a disaster for Never Say No to Pandas. They will have to change something up in order to strengthen the lane for the Lina, or maybe even just swap her out altogether. Fake Promise has pretty much been here the entire game, and the Queen of Pain is still winning the lane, essentially 1 versus 2. She's a level up on the Lina, 2 levels now. With her ultimate available, she might just look to go on Zeus once more. Maybe when her bottles come back from the bottle crowing. But she knows how strong she is at this point. She's got enough magic burst damage to bring Zeus almost from full to nothing. Fake Promise, he has moved up to the top lane to try give Pusher a little bit more to think about. With the tri-lane against him, they will have to get something done very quickly. Fake Promise does run into Pusher, oh, but he doesn't get the ignite off before Pusher time walks into Fog. So, even though the Queen of Pain is doing remarkably well, the top farmer in the game is Weapon X on this Gyrocopter, and this will allow Aggressive 5 to be very aggressive in the early mid game, as Gyrocopter is a hero that does scale pretty well in the early portions of the game, with help from things like the Vengeance Aura from PS on his Vengeful Spirit. Aggressive 5 will have a fairly strong 5-man push lineup. That's Never Say No to Pandas will have to be worried about. And Queen of Pain does go on the Lina in the mid lane. Lina misses a stun. Queen of Pain gets a Scream of Pain on 2, and this could even be an Ogre Magi dead. He's Netsurf Clown is using his bottle to get his mana up, blinks in, Shadow Strike, not quite enough mana for the Scream of Pain, quite yet. He does get the mana, and that's a double kill for Clown and a killing spree. All in all, Clown playing fantastically. Weapon X does almost go down to a tower, but with some nice aggro toggling, he does not go down and just salves up to essentially 2/3 health. So overall, Aggressive 5 outmaneuvering their opponents from the get-go and are significantly in the Pusher. He's under a little bit of pressure from the Radiant, the Dire safe lane, but Passat does show his face to keep Say My Name and Lips of an Angel in check and make sure they don't get any grand ideas. Pusher is level 6. He may look to turn onto perhaps Lips of an Angel with a Chronosphere. With Clown rotating in, getting a good Scream of Pain, they decide to go on the more tanky Say My Name, but they have enough damage. The Queen of Pain Scream, oh, the Say My Name just got level 6, and that's going to be a disaster. His ult is going to be on cooldown for forever. They even rotate PS in to get the last stun, and Lips of an Angel will go down here as well. Fake Promise does rotate in, but a little late. They do get the counter kill on the Bounty Hunter, but now the entire remainder of the Aggressive 5 team is in the top lane, and they might look to just push this tower, as we have a pause as Bounty Hunter disconnects. So overall, that fight very successful for Aggressive 5, giving them a even more significant net worth and experience advantage over Team Never Say No to Pandas. As we head into the late game, if we even get there, if Aggressive 5 delay their pushes or Never Say No to Pandas do successfully fend off this early aggression, more effectively than they have been doing in the past 7 minutes. It is debatable which team has the better late game, as Gyrocopter scales fairly well. Vengeful Spirit, one of the more potent supports in the late game, with that Vengeance aura buffing up the damage of her teammates and the Nether Swap, allowing teams to easily get a initiation on a hero that's even remotely out of position. Silencer, he tapers off a little late game as heroes get BKBs, but a refreshed global silence is always something to be worried about. Ogre, Bloodlust is a very potent spell in the latter stages of the game. The extra move speed and attack speed will be helpful to give Say My Name the ability to stand next to a hero and right click him to death. If Say My Name gets something like a basher, they might be able to more easily control the elusive Faceless Void and Queen of Pain and more quickly bring down the Gyrocopter, who will be dealing out a lot of damage in the later stage of the game, even now. Gyrocopter only just getting his level 6. He still has his cooldown available for this push,
Dire's top tower.
and
You know the drill. Radiant's mid tower's coming apart.
Wraith King pinging his Ogre just to get back. It's not worth his life to try and defend this tier 1 tower. The Dire team still have their fortify. They can stall this out a little bit more, maybe wait for their heroes to respawn.
Radiant's mid tower.
And Queen of Pain has rotated back into the middle lane, knowing that she's not necessary at this point in time. She claims the top rune, Lina claims the bottom rune, and she just looks to farm up even more.
Dire's top tower.
Lina has not caught up on levels as of yet. She's still 2 levels behind Clown, who dominated her in the early laning, and even forced there to be a sentry and an observer ward in the mid lane. Passat coming to wreak havoc, saying, "Hello, it's me again. Don't even try to kill me." In the top lane we have a motion onto Pusher, with no mana for Chronosphere and no cooldown either. Pusher is stunned, chain stunned into a silence, and this should be his death. He does not have the ability to time walk out. Oh, but he had a fraction of a second where he could have perhaps time walked some of the damage off and maybe walked away. But then Say My Name brought him down with one big crit from that massive sword of his. Totally not compensating for anything. Clink Spammer, he looks like he's out of position here, and with a dust from the Vengeful Spirit, good body blocks to make sure the first missile of the cooldown hits him.
Dire's mid tower.
This will be his demise, unless he can very successfully juke. PS has found him. He tries to come out, and Weapon X misses the ability to click on him, and the dust is worn off, so Clink Spammer actually gets out on 40 HP. Well played. Good juking, showing immense awareness of the map and his positioning and his opponent's likely maneuvers. Clown, he's got his Sonic Wave up again. He'll probably be looking to be very aggressive on this mid lane, and Never Say No to Pandas are aware of this, having
Radiant's top tower.
2 heroes
Hits.
sitting in the mid lane. Passat still not level 6, so he does not have that track as yet, but he is tracking the Lina with his body, waiting for his Queen of Pain to come back him up. Zeus, he gets Janata slowed. Oh, and the ultimate flies out, hitting both of them once more. But Clown, he could be in a little bit of trouble here. Very solid physical damage, but it's not enough. And Weapon X comes with the turn. 2-man cooldown, not quite enough mana to use the Rocket Barrage. Bounty once again the counter kill, but they'll be perfectly fine with that trade. 2 for 1, a 400 gold swing in favor of Aggressive 5, and space for Faceless Void to farm, while Say My Name is in intense fear of that mace and Chronosphere. After that fight we have another pause. Seems a little bit of technical issues. Number of players claiming lag. And we have a reconnect from the Wraith King. Say My Name has outstripped all of the Radiant team except for the Gyrocopter in terms of farm. He's caught up with his faceless counterpart and looks to be building towards a Blade Mail, an item that will help them against the Queen of Pain, whose initiation relies a lot on AoE and if he sees the Queen of Pain blink in, he can just pop the Blade Mail, bring the Queen of Pain low through her own damage, and then just respawn himself. Nice play, good reading of the game situation. He knows they are behind. He can't afford to go a carry item. At this point, they just need something that can help them win a fight or two, come back into the game, and then look to dominate aggressive 5. Faces Void, he's gone for some trades, get a little bit more tankiness, a little bit more attack speed. Vengeful Spirit, she's been buying pretty much all the wards. She's got a set of boots though, she'll be happy. And a ward just to place down when she needs to. Gyrocopter, he's gone for the early phase and Aquila, looking to build into a Tower of Endurance. Pretty standard early mid-game build-up here. May look to build into something like a Sanjan Yasha afterwards, maybe even an early BKB just to prevent initiations from Ogre Magi and Silencer and Lina. That will remain to be seen. Speaking of the Lina, Zeus has had a little bit of a rough time. Going back for the Arcane Boots, he might turn those into the Ether Lens for the increased magic damage and attack range, and cast range, sorry, not attack range, helping spells like the Light Strike Array, which is a fairly short range, and Laguna Blade allowed to be cast from further, giving him a more significant safe zone where he doesn't have to worry about being initiated on by Clown on the Queen of Pain. In terms of effigies, we have a pretty stock standard Terrorblade, wave in his arms, created by PS with 45 commands. Commands are easier to come by in India, I guess. And
What's with all the scribbling?
Queen of Pain scribbling out, or no, that's Lina, scribbling out some ward positions. Sansa claiming that they aggressive 5 may have an early deep ward on the hill to watch their jungle farming, and just general awareness of where the enemy's vision might be. Lots of boxes being drawn on the 3D cube. Players clearly a little bored. It's late. Game has been fairly delayed, and now everyone looks to be scribbling. It's not going to be long before the inevitable penis will be drawn. Some Lanjinglaka, someone with knowledge of Hindi or traditional Indian language, hit me up in the comments, let me know what that means. So in terms of net worth, I think as can be expected, Clown with his early 6-0 and 2 well on top of the net worth charts. 1200 ahead of his compatriot Weapon X on the Gyrocopter, and a further 500 ahead of the most farmed die hero in the Wraith King. So aggressive 5 will look to be turning this early aggressive success into a dominant mid game with powerful teamfight ultimates from almost all of their heroes. Queen of Pain with her Sonic Wave, Faces Void with his Chronosphere, Gyrocopter with his Cooldown, Vengeful Spirit with the initiation power of Swap, and Bounty Hunter with the enviable power of extra gold for his team. From Never Say No to Pandas, they do have quite good counter initiation in the obvious global silence. Things like a Fire Blast and an overly aggressive Queen of Pain, a Light Strike Array on some early advancing heroes, and a Laguna Blade to bring one hero down with almost instant efficiency. And the Wraith King, even if he does get blown up, he will have that Blade Mail in about 1100 gold, and his ultimate will hopefully be level 2 by then, because at level 1 260 seconds downtime is painful to have to endure. In terms of warding, the Radiant team, they've only got one ward on the bot lane to spot out any rotations in there, while the Dire, they're afraid of pretty much everything. They've got 3 wards on the map. They've got 2 protecting the river, and 1 lane ward in the top lane. Seems to be a fairly extensive pause, and we will be waiting a little while longer before we have any more action here. Clown is Queen of Pain, favoring the mixed blessings of the Ruby Wave Wings. It looks pretty cool. Of course, Queen of Pain's assets quite significant. Basat on the Bounty Hunter. He looks like a pretty badass dude. The Hunter set for Funnick. Nice Western style on the seldom seen hero. By seldom seen, I mean he's in a lot of games, but you don't really see him a lot because he's invisible. For sure, he's got a staff that literally looks like a crocodile's teeth. Looks like he's ripped the head of some small animal and got a hole in his face just for good measure. Say my name, he's looking pretty swanky there. That's definitely not the right set. That's still not the right set. Seems that Dota thinks that the Wraith King is wearing the face of sports items. Say my name with a very nice looking helmet. That seems to be a very cohesive set. Maybe he got that in his Rylai's crystal reward. Lips of an Angel. Buckler, the Ale Trieste set. I haven't seen this one before. I used to not. I used to play Sansa a fair amount, but with the Wraith King player reconnecting, we should hopefully be going fairly soon. I like this Buckler, that's a pretty cool buckler. And Laner seems to have a pretty similar set to my own. The Ember Crate set, nice and reliable. Lepro from one of his buddies. Okay, and the game is underway once more. This seems to be the game of many delays, and we are underway once more. Pusher just continuing to farm the top lane. Netsif still trying to get his level 6 up. Desperately trying to. And he has succeeded in so now he has that track. He will be roaming much more aggressively to try keep tabs on where these Dire heroes are. He knows Say My Name's farming in the jungle. He doesn't see. He spots Fake Promise. They do ping out that Bounty might possibly be there, but they seem to not want to commit something like a dust from the Ogre Magi at this point in time. They do lay down a Sentry Ward and Netsurf. He smells a rat and he backs away. Aggressive 5, they look to be, as the namesake suggests, aggressive and just push this tier 1 tower. Never Say No to Pandas seem to just be giving it to them and not wanting to risk another teamfight disaster like they've had in the last few fights. Just for a tier 1 tower. They want to save their efforts for a more significant bounty. Basat, his suspicions were that they had a Sentry Ward down and he does bring it down. And he is at this point baiting a little for his team with three of his teammates smoked up, running to the mid lane and trying to find a kill on Alina. But she, luckily for her, is getting a rune in the bottom end of the map. She is rotating back and she may be in a small world of pain come a few seconds if he does show his face. Clown pushing the lane, forcing Zeus to reveal himself. Pusher positioning even more aggressively, and they do place a ward down and they see everything. They know exactly what's happening. They see 3 heroes for Never Say No to Pandas. Never Say No to Pandas do get a very aware D ward, but not before the Bounty Hunter player gets one more track off. We have 9 of the 10 heroes in the game in the mid lane, with only Now, instead of 8, King's Silencer, rotating out to try farm, get some experience elsewhere, but aggressive 5 are certainly looking to press their early game advantage into domination over the entirety of the map. We have sentry wards going down everywhere with aggressive 5 trying to make sure that their bounty hunter hasn't been spotted, and of course never seen out of Pandas trying to spot and forfeit to Martin, but that's a great combination of ultimates. Not catching the silencer means that the Queen of Pain does not get any of her spells off, but the heroes in the dire are going down anyway. There's too much damage from aggressive. Wraith King, he's dead, but he's far in enemy territory. There's another track on him, he's going to go down twice, and that's a 4 for 1. While Clown does go down, that does end a bit of a streak, giving some gold to whoever killed him. Overall, that was a very significant win for Team Aggressive 5. They get almost a 2k gold swing and a tier 1 tower, and they'll look to just... Gyrocopter will keep positioning a little bit more aggressively. Passat, he's just trying to get some more tracks off. He's almost at his mechanism, he only needs the recipe, and he's about 150 gold away from that mechanism, which will cause Aggressive 5 to group up even more. Clown, he's most of the way to his Orchid Malevolence. Probably trying to go on either the Lina or the Silencer, make sure they can't cast their spells and win the fight quickly, and without losing his life as he did in the last fight.
Radiant's mid tower's getting banged up.
Now the top 2 farmed heroes in the entirety of the game are on the Gyrocopter and the Queen of Pain. Things are looking a little grim for Never Seen No Pandas, but they do have what it takes to come back into this game. If they land maybe a better Silencer roll before Gyrocopter throws his spells, or they manage to get an initiation on the Queen of Pain, they will be able to take fights more successfully than that. But right now, what Team Never Say No to Pandas is lacking is a bit of initiation. Sure, they have the Clinks running in Invis and trying to go on someone before they can respond, but that's fairly weak at this point. They need something like a Blink on the Wraith King, maybe a Force Staff on the Ogre to get him in position for a good Fire Blast, a Yule Scepter on the Lina so that she can land a combination of some kind, but Lina is going for that Ether Lens that I spoke about, giving her a little bit more damage, a little bit more range, and overall boosting her damage potential. Meanwhile, from Aggressive 5, their cooldowns are pretty much all up. They've got all their ultimates back again, and they're going to push this 5. They worked for them very potently last time. They know they're still very far ahead, and they will look to press this 5. And Queen of Pain even manages to find an Arcane Rune. She'll hang on to this for a little bit and pop it just before the fight. But Aggressive 5 looking to assert their dominance over Team Never Say No to Pandas. Bounty Hunter roaming to the jungle. There is a Dire Sentry Ward here, but no other form of vision. So Team Never Say No to Pandas will be largely unaware until the Bounty Hunter runs in and tracks their Lina. Queen of Pain pops the Arcane Rune. She knows that something big is going to happen soon, and it's just a matter of where they find the initiative. And Pusher gets a great Crossbeam too, but there's a better Silence Roll before any of the other spells land. They don't manage to blow down Pusher, and he doesn't get the time walk away, and there's 3 of the Dire heroes down already. Lips of an Angel, he's trying to TP out in the midst of 5 of the heroes, and he doesn't have the life to do so. Clink Spammer, he gets silenced, he gets brought down, Ultra Kill for Weapon X, and this is looking pretty grim for Never Say No to Pandas in Game 1 of this round of 8 game in the Kaolin Cup. Team Never Say No to Pandas maybe just knowing that they are well and truly beaten at this stage of the game, taking a couple of minutes just to rally their thoughts, try and assess what went wrong, what they can do better in the next game, maybe more focused bans for the enemy team, a better form of initiation, the one thing that they lacked in this game. Pusher wanting to get the racks, but not at the cost of his own life. APS just not wanting to sacrifice his cause, and Aggressive 5 just dancing in and out. They've got the tier 3, they don't really need more. It's only 17 minutes in the game. They know they don't need to push for Parax at this point in time. They are almost 10,000 experience ahead, 14,000 gold, and sadly they are down a courier, but it did deliver the greaves to the bounty hunter before it got sniped. So Weapon X choosing to go for the Helm of the Dominator, that early extra armor and health regen and lifesteal from the helm, and a nice early Vlad, some pusher, allowing aggressive 5 to sustain in fights far more than Never Say No to Pandas. And Never Say No to Pandas, they know they're behind. They know they have a long way to go, and they have a desperation 4-man smoke. Just try to find something, try gank one of the enemy heroes. But this is spotted out. The Klink's going is spotted out by a Radiant Ward, and the smoke does pop, so that they know the Bounty Hunter is on this somewhere. They do get the dust on the Bounty Hunter, but Bounty Hunter just grieves that off, and he's invisible once more. A nice, often underutilized aspect of the Guardian Greaves, the Purge, that does come in when you use it on... So it purges the holder of the Greaves of all debuffs, and, well, most debuffs, not all, and allows them to just go about their business as if they hadn't had any bad things happen to them. Aggressive 5 maybe look to Roshan. Netsurf PS has picked up a Medallion of Courage. They do have considerable minus armor, but they ping out the bottom tier 2. They don't want Never Say No to Pandas to be able to respond to a rush attempt in any way. So they will look to push down this tower and then back up to Roshan and then push to end the game. Clown, he's finished his Orca Malevolence. He's almost got his BKB, he just needs the Mithril Hammer. Even buying the recipe before anything else happens. Aggressive 5 facing a very... They know that there's a Clinks on the team, they don't want to get cheesed by it. And they just place down a Sentry Ward in the lane there. Never Say No to Pandas, and they're just looking. They've picked up on one more smoke. Their last smoke didn't work, not quite killing off the bounty. So they may just look to smoke up again. Say my name, he's got his ultimate up again, but he is tracked, so they will know exactly where he is and can position themselves accordingly. Double damage rune is pinged out by PS on the Vengeful Spirit, and this may cause Aggressive 5 to go to the Roshan pit. With a double damage Gyrocopter with Medallion coverage and Wave of Tear Revenge, they might take Roshan fairly quickly, but they choose just to go back and farm. They don't need to force anything at this point. They're very far ahead. Their 2 cores are almost double the net worth of the most farmed core on Never Say No to Pandas. They are well and truly in the driving seat in this game, and a Roshan attempt may be the throw that Never Say No to Pandas needs to get back into the game. Klinks still hasn't finished his Orchid of Malevolence. Picked up the first Oblivion Staff, still needs the second one in the recipe. Lina, she's got that Ether Lens and 1600 gold, maybe looking to go for a Blink Dagger just for that little bit of extra initiation. Lips of an Angel, he's looking impoverished on the Silencer, boots of speed, and some, not even trades, some Sentry Wards, dust, no smoke. Fake Promise, pretty much the same, just plus Magic Wand. And say my name on the Wraith King, he's still sitting on that Blade Mail that he had about 10 minutes ago. He's got 1500 gold saved up in the bank, so maybe looking to rush a Blink Dagger or pick up parts of BKB. It'll be interesting to see what he goes next. If he chooses to take the fight to Aggressive 5, even though Never Say No to Pandas are about 10k behind in experience and more than 16k behind in net worth. It is a tough lead for Never Say No to Pandas to come back from, but with some smart play, maybe a couple of good smokes, pickoffs, and space for Say My Name and the rest of the team, they may be able to do it. But Aggressive 5 not looking to give them that space, they're just pushing as 5 in the top lane with Bounty Hunter, scouting at the edges of their vision. Faces Void, picking up a Blink Dagger on the courier. With Timewalk only having a very short range, Void does look for an initiation tool, maybe a force off from an allies, but generally he picks up a Blink on himself just to get that extra initiation punch.
Radiant's bottom tower
So
seems
with all of the Diet
Radiant's doesn't
towers
destruction.
taken down, aggressive fire will try to push high ground.
Trouble brewing
Well,
at Radiant's bottom
maybe they'll go back for Roshan, but first we'll have another pause. Seems that some more network issues, or maybe just someone needs a break, and we are paused once more. So things looking less than optimal for Never Say No to Pandas. The early game going, despite getting both bounty runes, the early game has gone poorly for them. 17-4 is never a score you want to see yourself against at any point in the game, let alone this early. And Clown has even managed to pick up a BKB, so he'll be even harder to kill in this next fight. They've picked Never Say No to Aggressive Vibe. They've picked up their key items for the next fight. They picked up their Blink Dagger on the Void. They picked up their BKB on the Queen of Pain, and they're looking to just push high ground. Baiting a little with Clown, with that BKB charge, throwing out the Vengeful Spirit, Wave of Terror, not much gain, and just camping Weapon X and Clown on the high ground, both with BKBs. If they get initiated on, they can just pop them and back up before Never Seen a Pandas can do much of anything. But at this point, they're just sitting on the top, punching the barracks. Say my name, running forward a little. Throws out his stun, he gets orchided, but this is just a little bit of taunting from Aggressive 5. They know that they can just poke at the racks, get lots of tracks on all of the die heroes, and just go in whenever they want to. They don't need to be forced into initiation. If they knew that the Clinks was top farming the jungle, they might just go in right now. But their ward currently does not see the Clinks farming in the jungle. And Aggressive 5 are a little tentative about going onto the high ground. Bush are just looking for a great positioning for a 2 or 3 man chrono. But in the meantime, they're content to just hit the melee barracks. Say my name, continuing to throw out stuns. But it doesn't phase Aggressive 5 in any way. They just sit on top of the high ground, punch the barracks to death, and before you know it, they've got a later barracks, and now they're going to go back for a shot. Bounty Hunter picks up a Gem of True Sight just to remove all vision that Never Say No to Pandas might have, and allow Aggressive 5 to smoke into the Roshan pit. Yeah, that's a very sneaky play from them actually. They smoke, and they just wait for Never Say No to Pandas ambushing them on the high ground, but a very good global silence. BKBs apart from Gyrocopter and Queen of Pain, allowing them to bring out their spells, but Void has not get his chrono off, and Void is still silenced from the silence of spells. Lina has gone down, and on the back line, Clown and Weapon X, they're bringing down the rest of Never Say No to Pandas. Say my name, he's far away, he's thrown out too many stuns, hasn't got enough mana, and that will most likely be the GG from Never Say No to Pandas. A very well executed game from Aggressive 5. Good early pressure from Clown. Great early movement from Passat on the Bounty Hunter. Pushed Aggressive 5 into a massive early game lead, and Never Say No to Pandas just never said yes to coming back, really. That was a very quick game, and we'll be coming back with Game 2 very soon. Don't keep tuned on this channel for some more Kaolin Cup action. I've been Pizza Dog. You can find me on YouTube, find me on Twitch, and we'll catch you soon.